All right, so I thought you might like to see me, but this isn't really necessarily going so well because I'm not really sure what to do with it. Does it stay outside the box? Does it go into the box? Either way, it's recording. So I made this like little corner thing. And yes, I have my hair sticking up just for you. Maybe make it a little more fun. Woohoo! All right, here we go. We are in homework. Let's put me over here. I don't know where to go. Put me somewhere. I think I'm gone. Maybe you can see me. I can't. All right, so we're in homework. We are doing chapter 10, lesson 5, and we are taking a look at metric. And I told you that was coming up. So it is here. All right, so the video will be here. I'll be working just on pages 11 and 12. So if you're in class and you want to move ahead, this is how you do it. And then in class, we'll be doing the other part in the homework. So we're going to kind of slow down to go quickly. All right. So remember, this is our vocabulary. Capacity is the amount a container can hold, or a room can hold, or a car can hold, or just anything can hold. It could be a cup. It could be anything. Milliliter, milli means small, tiny, milli. So a milliliter is 1,000ths. Milli means thousands. It's 1,000ths with the th of a liter, which means you need 1,000 of these milliliters to make a liter. Massa is the amount of matter in an object. How dense are the molecules? It doesn't depend on gravity, but on Earth it's the same as your weight. Weight is how heavy it is. Depends on gravity. I'm much lighter on Mars than I would be here on Earth, and I'm really, really heavy on Jupiter. Milligram, again, there's that milli, 1,000ths of a gram. So you need 1,000 of them to make a gram, or a milligram is 1,000ths of a gram. 1/1,000th of a gram. Okay, so there's two ways to look at that. A ton, these are things you need to memorize. A customer unit is 2,000 pounds, make a ton. A meter is a metric unit. We'll be really looking at metric today. So 1,000 centimeters is what you're most used to, which is your pinky is 1 meter. 10 meters is 1 dam, which is a decameter. It's 10 meters. And 10 decimeters is 1 meter. And a decimeter is a little part of a meter. It's 10 of them to make 1 meter. And how many centimeters make a decimeter? You need 10. Okay, so you need 10 centimeters to make a decimeter. All right, by the time this is over, you're going to be converting. Customary is United States. Metric is pretty much everywhere else. We're really thinking about, you need to be able to compare and convert them. How much is more, how much is less is one of them. Remember, on your multiplication tables, everything around the outside are your factors, and everything on the inside is your multiples of your products. All right, so let's take a look at our homework. And while you're doing this, I am doing your video for tonight. Sorry, ImageMate. I'm like everywhere, right? Move me over. Do I show up? You'll have to tell me tomorrow. All right, so we're just doing these pages. So we're unlocking the problem first, and you should have this book with you. All right, using a map, Alex estimates the distance between his house and his grandparents' house to be about 15,000 meters. About how many kilometers away from his grandparents' house does he live? The metric unit is based on place value. Each unit is related to the next largest or smaller by a unit or a power of 10. All right, so let's take a look at Alex's house. So Alex is going from his house to his grandparents, right? And this is 15,000 meters. All right, and we want to turn it into kilometers. Now, I'm going to first show you the T-chart so you understand it's something you've already done. All right, so we have a kilometer and we have meters. Now, kilo is not a mini, it's a large one, and 1,000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer. You just have to start knowing that. So 1 kilometer is equal to what? 1,000 meters. So here's that T-chart again. To get from that 1 to 1,000, you are multiplying by 1,000, right? So 1 times 1,000 is 1,000. To get to 1,000 to 1, you are dividing by 1,000. Okay? So just to know that we can do that. So what do we know? We know our meters. And we have 15,000 1,000 of them, and we are dividing them by 1,000 to find out how many kilometers. So you can show it this way. 15,000 divided by 1,000, and hopefully you know your properties of 10. I can just, however many zeros are in my divisor, I can take out of my dividend, the number that's coming to an end, and look what I have left. I have 15 divided by 1. Well, any number broken up into 1 pieces is the same number of pieces. So the answer here will be 15 kilometers. Do you see that? I took 15,000, I divided it by 1,000, and I ended up with 15 of those kilometers. So I already know the answer is 15, but let's see how they did it. So they want you to look at this, and this is your place value chart essentially. Remember your place value chart, your ones, your tens? Well, that's what this is. Here's your 1 meter. These are your 10 meters. Okay, a deca is 10 times your meter. Okay, and that's also 10 to the first power. That's something you should remember. A decameter is 100 meters, or 10 to the what power? Second. Okay, this is your kilometer, which is 1,000 meters, or 10 to the third, and that's what they have here. So power, 1 power of 10. These are all powers of 10, 10 times more. But this is 1 power of 10. This is 10 to the second power, 10 to the third power. And if that's new to you, this is just a set of 10. This is 10 sets of 10. That 2 means you're taking that number and you're multiplying it by itself, this 2 of them. Now, this is how many multiples? 10 times 10 times 10. So that's 10 to the third power. 10 to the fourth is 10 times 10 times 10, 4 times. Okay, now with tens, it's kind of nice. That's just 10, but what is 10 times 10? Well, 1 times 1 is 1. How many zeros do you have? You have 2, and I always underline that. Here's 1 times 1 times 1, right? I can multiply that easy. How many tens do I have? I have 3. 10, 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is still 1, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. So any number that I multiply by a property of 10, I can just add that 0. So 20 times 3. I actually like to write my properties of 10 this way. That's 3 times 2 is 6, and how many tens? 1, 0. 30 times 20. Again, take those first digits. 3 times 2 is 6. How many zeros this time? 2. 3 times 200. 2 times 3, 6. How many zeros? So when it's the property of 10, it's really easy. The same thing works with division, but we won't worry about that just yet. All right, so what it wants you to know is when you're going from meters to decameters, you have 10 times more, or 10 to the first power. When you're going from meters to hectometers, it's 1 times 100. It's 100 times more, or 10 to the second power. When you're going from decameters to hectometers, it's 10 times more, so, or 10 to the first power. When you're going from decameter to kilometers, it's 2 jumps, which is 100 times more, all right? And I know that's kind of confusing, sorry, but meters to kilometers is 1,000 times more, or 10 to the third. Each jump is times 10. So if I'm going here, it's times 10, times 100, times 1,000. If it's here, it's times 10, times 100. If it's here, it's just times 10. Same thing backwards. If I'm going from kilo to hecto, I'm dividing by 10. I'm going from kilo to deca, I'm dividing by what? 10, 100. I'm going from kilo to meter, I'm dividing by 10, 100, 1,000. So each one of these jumps, just like in place value, is worth 10 times. Same thing this way. Okay, but I'm going to the right, so this is still dividing by 10. So this is 1/10. Dividing by 10 from 100th. I'm dividing by 10, 1/1000. I'm going from milli to centimeters, I'm multiplying by 10. Okay, if I'm going from centi to decimeters, I'm multiplying by 10. If I'm going from milli to decimeters, I'm multiplying by 10 and multiplying by 10, which is multiplying by 100. All right? So that's actually all you need to do today. It's not a lot of multiplication or division, but I had showed you how you could do it with your T-chart if you're in trouble. So find the relationship. Meters are how many powers of 10 smaller than a kilometer? So smaller. So if I'm going to bigger, it would not be 1,000 times more. Do you see that? It feels like it would be, but really I'm going from kilometer backwards. So this is 10 times less is a hectometer. 10 times 10 is 100 times less, would be a decameter. 10 times 10 times 10 is 1,000 times less, which is a meter. So meters are how many jumps? 1, 2, 3 powers of 10 smaller than a kilometer, which is equal to 10 to the third power, or 1,000. And this is the lesson, so if all this is new, that's okay. So there are 1,000 meters in a kilometer. Determine the operation. When I am converting from a smaller unit to a larger unit, what are you going to do? If I'm going from meters to kilometers, what do? You multiply. You go times 10 more, times 10 more. Oh, I hate this. See, that's why I really need it to be this way. So if I'm going, let's just give an example. There's my meter, and there's my kilometer. So 1,000 to 1. So now I can do it. So to go from meters to kilometers, I divide by 1,000, and to go from kilometers to meters, I multiply. Now I can answer this question. If I'm converting from a smaller unit to a larger unit, what am I going to do? I'm actually dividing. A larger unit, so I will divide. Then I can show that on my T-chart. So my number of meters, I am dividing by 1,000, which gave me 15. So Alex's house is 15. Okay, so you're looking for the pattern. Choose two units in the chart. Explain how you use power of 10s. Describe how they're related. So again, how are my milliliters and my decimeters? Well, I need, if I have 1 decimeter, it is 1, 2, I multiply by 10, 100 to get my milliliters. So if each of them are separated by 10 times more or 10 times less. And I know that's confusing, but all right. Jamie made a bracelet that is 1.8 decimeters long. How many millimeters long is it? All right, so you can do it their way, but I'm going to go ahead and make my T-chart real quick. So I have decimeters, which is DC, right? Not a DAM, but just a DC. And actually I think they do DMs, don't they? Is that decimeter? It's in the beginning of our vocabulary. Oh, I guess it's just a D. Did you see that? I would totally disagree with that, by the way. I think it's a DM. I think that's how it's converted. And we're going to millimeters. Ooh, tiny ones. All right. So what do we know? These are really teeny tiny. So we do know that 1 centimeter is equal to what? 10 millimeters. Do you see that? 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. So that would make, and 10 centimeters is equal to 1 decimeter. All right, so if 10 centimeters is 1 decimeter and 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters, then 2 centimeters would be 20, 3 would be 30, 4 would be what? 50, 5 would be 50, 6 would be 60, 7 would be 70, 8, 9, and then 10 would be what? 100. So 10 centimeters would be equal to 100 millimeters. So we're going to put that, right, 10 centimeters is equal to 100 millimeters, so 1 decimeter is equal to 100 millimeters. So I would put that here. Okay, so if I'm going from 1 to 100, I multiply by 100. I'm going from 100 to 1, I'm dividing by 100. So I'm going back to that T-chart. Now let's ask the question. He has a bracelet that is, 1.8 decimeters long. How many milliliters? So I know I have my 1.8 decimeters. So that goes in here, and to get to my milliliters, what do I have to do? I have to multiply by 100. So 1.8, this is how I do it. I drop off my zeros off the back side and I cut them off and I bring them straight down. Okay, 1 times 8 is 8, 1 times 1 is 1. Now I still have how many jumps in my factors? These are my two factors. This is my product. My two factors, I have 1 jump. So my answer is 180, like that. Okay, you might do it differently and that's fine. So Jamie's bracelet is 180 milliliters long. And they're going to do it all these different ways, which is fine. There you go. Last night, convert 247 milligrams to centigrams, decigrams, and grams. Deci is a my little baby one. Are the units being converted to a larger unit or a smaller unit? So let's see what we're doing. All right. So I have 247 milligrams, and I need to convert it to centigrams, decigrams, and just regular grams. All right, so what do I know? Let's do my T-chart. So I have my milligrams, and I'm going to look right here. Let's just go to centigrams. So if I'm just going up to centigrams, it's the next jumped over, so what would it be? That means it takes 10 of these to make this next one. So 10 milligrams is equal to 1 centigram. Do we get that? Does that make sense? 10 kilograms equal to 1 decigram, because it shows you going up 1 jump. So if I have 2, so this way to this way, from going from 10 to 1, I divided by 10. I'm going to 1 to 10, I multiplied by 10. And what do I have? I have milligrams. So I have 247, and I need to divide it by 10. Do you know how to do that? 247 divided by 10. Sorry, guys. Can't take any 10s out of 2. I can take 2 10s out of 24. Bring down the 4 and bring down the 7. I can bring 4 10s and lining up my place value out of 47. Up, I ran out of place value. So this is where you put your decimal in. Okay? So I bring down a 0, which would be the tens place. How many 10s can I take out of 70? 7. So if I take 247 and I divide it into 10 groups, each group will have 24 and 7 10s. All right, so that's my first one. So to turn it into, so 247 milligrams is equal to 24 and 7 centigrams. So now I have to convert it to, what was the next one? Milligrams into decigrams. Well, look, I already have my centigrams, don't I? You see that? So, well, do you see the 10? It takes what? 10 centigrams to make a decigram. Do you see that? So this is 10 milligrams to make a centigram, 10 centigrams to make a decigram. So how many milligrams would it take to make a decigram? Well, 10 times and 10 times, which would mean 100. So it's 100 milligrams to make a decigram. So I could take this, and I could use my T-chart again, or I could use the conversion I have, and I'm going from milligrams to what? Decigrams. So 1 decigram is equal to 100 milligrams, right? 10 to make a centigram, 10 to make a decigram. All right, so to go from 100 to 1, I divide by 100. To go from 1 to 100, I multiply by 100. At the end of the day, what do I have? I have my milligrams. Do you see that? So I'm going to put 247 right here, and I know I need to divide it by 100. So I'm going to come back over. 247 divided by 100. All right, can I take 100 out of 2? No, put an X in that place value. Can I take 100 out of 24? No. Can I take 100 out of 247? Yes, I can take 2 100s. 2 times 100 is 200. Subtract, I have 47 left. All right, I'm all done with my place value, so I'm going to go into my parts, which is my decimal. All right, how many? I'm at a 0. Bring down my 0 here. So now I have 470. How many hundreds can I take out of 470? I can take 4. 4 times 100 is 400. I have 70 left. I still have more. I have to keep going. So I'm going to go from my tenths, and I'm going to put a 0 now in the hundreds place. I'm going to bring that 0 from my hundreds place down. How many 700s can I take out of 700? 7, which would give me 700. So if I took 247 and I broke it up into 100 pieces, every piece would have 2 whole and 47 hundredths. Every piece would have 2 whole and 47 hundredths of a piece. All right, so now this is this next conversion. So milligrams to decigrams would be 2 and 47 hundredths. So I think it wanted you to show that right here. So this would be, so I think I divided by 10. Do you remember that? Which made 24.7. This one I divided by 100, which gave me 2.47. Oh, I see a pattern. Divided by 1,000. So if this is one jump for that 1 0, this is 2 jumps. This one should be all 3 jumps. Do you see that? So how many zeros I'm jumping to the left? Now that's kind of awkward for some of us, and that's okay. So I'm going to still use division just to show you, because we were almost done. All right. So I had my 247 milligrams, and I need to find out how many grams. So again, I'm going to look right here. All right. So 10 milligrams made a centigram. That's 10 times. So 2 jumps would be 100, right? 10 times 10. So how many would be 10 times 10 times 10 more, which is, oh my gosh, 1,000. So how am I going to take, so here's the best part. How am I going to take 247 and divide it by 1,000? Doom, I'm done. Okay, 247 milligrams is 247 divided by 1,000 grams. I'm done. That's what I wanted to show you that last time. Isn't that easy? That's like totally done. It's not even a mixed number. It's actually a fraction. This number's smaller than that one. I'm all done. It's actually that many grams. However, they want a decimal. They wouldn't make it so easy on me. So 247 divided by 1,000. Okay, can I take 1,000 out of 2? Nope. Can I take 1,000 out of 24? Nope. Lining up my place value. Can I take it out of 200? Nope. So now I'm going to put my decimal right here, and I'm going into parts. Okay, I'm going to my tenths. Can I take 1,000 out of 2,470? Yes, I can take 2 1,000s, which leaves me 470. Now I'm going to my hundreds place value, which is 4,000s I can take out. 4 times leaves me 700. Go down to my thousands place value. I can take 7,000s out of that. So if I take 247 and I divide it into 1,000 little pieces, each little piece is 247 thousandths of a part. Okay, so that's what this answer would be. 2,047 thousandths of a gram, which is what I got here. And remember, that's what this is, 247,000. So just remember, fractions are division. All right, convert my hectoliters to my decaliters and liters. Okay, I have 3.9 hectoliters right here, and I'm converting it to decaliters. All right, so I'm just going to make my table to figure it out. I have a hecto, and I'm going to a deciliter. So one of these is equal to what? Well, it takes 10 of these to make one of those. So 10 of those to make, because this is right, these are the smaller parts making the bigger part. So going this way, what do? I divide by 10. Going this way, I multiply by 10. And I'm starting out with my hectoliters. So I'm getting 3.9. So what do I need to do? I need to multiply by 10. Okay, well that's kind of, oh, you're not even seeing any of that, sorry. It's right there. Does that make sense? I'm not at home, so my space is a bit awkward. All right, so I start out with 3.9 hectoliters. I noticed that 10 decameters would make a hecto because I'm right 10 times more, 10 times less. So first I did my hectoliters, my T-chart, and my decaliters, and I knew that 10 of these were needed to make one of those. So if I'm going this way, it's dividing by 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1. If I'm going this way, it's multiplying by 10. 1 times 10 is 10. So what do I have? I had hectoliters, so I'm multiplying by 10. All right, so hopefully you know 3.9 multiplied, and again, I like to cut off that 0 by 10 is, there's my 0, 9, 3, how many jumps? 1 jump, 39. So 3.9 hectoliters is equal to 39 decaliters. And then it wanted me to go, so I multiplied by 10, and I got 39. Oh, that's how it looks. I was like, this is a weird one, 3.9, right? You see that? So now I'm going to multiply it by 100. And I don't know if you know the pattern, but I'm just literally, instead of going 1 jump, now I'm going to go 2. So I'm going to add, there's 3.9, 1 jump, 2 jump, add a 0, so that would be 390. And if I'm going to deciliters, I'm doing 39, and I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so 3,900. All right, guys. So in class, we're going to keep working on this here. The biggest thing is really kind of getting a handle on this place value chart, which is kind of like your ones, your 1/10ths, your 100ths, your 1,000ths. Okay, your times tens, these are your hundreds, and these are your thousands. All right, if you're, this could be 10 times more, 10 times less. All right, I don't even know. Hopefully that was okay. Let's take a look. Bring it back. Bring it up. Good job, you guys. So how can I compare metric units, their properties of 10, and how do you know whether you need to multiply or divide? I'm going to tell you really honestly, you need to really use your T-chart. It's just the easiest way to go about it. All right, have a good night, you guys.